If you make good money, but you still feel like you're not as far ahead as you should be, this video is for you. Most people think that wasting money means shopping too much or spending your money on frivolous things. But for most of us, that is not where the biggest money leaks lie. The real money drains are quiet, and a lot of times they're nearly invisible. And they usually start happening slowly over time as you start to earn more and more money. Today, I'm going to be breaking down 8 ways that you may be leaking money. Even if you feel like you're earning a lot, you're doing everything right, you're saving, you're investing, and you're being responsible with your income. And if you're able to fix just 1 or 2 of these, it could end up saving you hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year without changing your lifestyle. So let's get into it. If you're new here, I'm Julie, your favorite money coach, and I'm here to teach you all about money and finances so that one day you can achieve financial freedom. The first potential drain on your money is paying for convenience that you no longer need. Convenience is expensive, and in a lot of cases, it's well worth the cost. But this is an area that a lot of people let spiral out of control unnecessarily, and few people ever downgrade. Things like having multiple food delivery apps, paying for premium subscriptions that used to be beneficial to you, but really are no longer serving that purpose, and you just haven't gotten around to canceling or downgrading them. Paying extra for things when you're in a busy season of life makes sense. But if you find yourself slowing down or having multiple services or subscriptions that provide the same benefit, you may be wasting money. If your life has changed, but your spending has not, you may be overpaying for certain conveniences that you no longer need. This isn't about cutting out everything. Some conveniences are well worth the cost and may be a lot more beneficial to you than what you're paying for them. This is about being consciously aware of what you're paying for, if it is still providing the value to you that it was when you first signed up, and consciously choosing whether or not to continue paying for it. If you have multiple subscriptions or services, take a minute to review them. See which ones are actually providing you benefit and get rid of the rest. The next potential money leak we're going to talk about is lifestyle inflation. One of the biggest money traps is not spending more, but rather getting locked in to spending a certain amount and having that lifestyle creep continue even after you're making a conscious choice to pay for it. Rent, car payments, and recurring subscriptions are all examples of potential areas where you may be experiencing lifestyle inflation. The problem with fixed cost is that once they're locked in, they're hard to unwind. A lot of people don't feel broke because they're overspending month to month. A lot of people feel broke because such a large percentage of their income is already locked in at the beginning of the month. If your fixed costs have quietly crept up to 50, 60, or even a larger percentage of your take-home pay, this could be a hidden form of waste, even if you're technically able to afford it. In this case, you're not technically living beyond your means, but you're so locked in paying high fixed costs that it feels like you can never get ahead. If your fixed costs are this high, you're not giving yourself any breathing room, and this could be a silent drain on your finances every month. A third silent drain on your money is optimizing for monthly costs instead of total costs. Now, what do I mean by this? If you make good money, you're probably thinking, how much is this per month and can I afford it? That mindset is exactly how you end up silently overpaying on things like car loans, electronics, and stretching out payments on things that do not need to be overstretched. Low monthly payments can feel harmless, but they almost always mean higher interest payments, longer timelines, and more of your money out the door overall. When you're a high earner, you don't just get hurt by making big purchases. You're arguably even more impacted negatively by stretching those payments out over a longer period of time and creating unnecessary financing expenses. If you're looking at a low monthly payment, but it's stretched out over years, ask yourself, can I actually afford this? Or am I just prolonging the inevitable and increasing my costs through financing? The fourth and often overlooked drain on your finances comes in the form of idle cash. If you have excess cash stashed away somewhere and you keep telling yourself that you're holding on to it just in case. This can be a silent drain on your finances. Cash can feel safe, and a lot of us end up hoarding it because it gives us that peace of mind. But if you have too much of it, it can be silently costing you money. A lot of people keep way more cash on hand than they need because they are afraid of the volatility of the markets and what might happen to that cash if they properly invest it. Emergency funds are extremely important, and if you guys have seen my other videos, you know I'm a big proponent of these. But beyond an emergency fund of 6 to 12 months of expenses, cash really has little purpose. It slowly loses value thanks to inflation, and it's also an opportunity cost, meaning you could put that money somewhere else and earn a lot higher of a return on it. So take a look at your accounts. If you cannot explain exactly why each dollar of cash is in your account and what purpose it's serving, you're potentially wasting money by keeping it there. I'm not saying to throw all your money into the market tomorrow, but if you have like $50,000 sitting in your checking account, you might want to revisit why you're holding on to this cash and what better purpose it might be serving for you. The next quiet drain on your finances is something that people hate talking about, and that is taxes. If you make a lot of money, you may be tempted to ignore things like budgeting and tax planning. People assume I make too much for these things to matter, but every decision that you make with your money has a larger impact. And this goes for budgeting as well as tax planning and preparation. Things like not taking advantage of your retirement accounts, not planning your bonus payments properly, and ignoring business deductions or structuring your side income in a way that's most beneficial for tax purposes can end up costing you a lot of money in the long run. If you're not proactively planning for taxes, you're likely overpaying. I'm not saying you need to implement a ton of aggressive tax tricks, but what I am saying is you should know the benefits that are available to you and figure out ways that you can simply and easily take advantage of them. Most of you know that wealthy people take the time to plan and prepare for taxes. So why should someone like yourself, who's in the process of building real wealth, be any different? Another big money leak that I see is missteps when it comes to insurance. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand insurance can be extremely boring, but if you find yourself overinsured or underinsured in different areas, this can be a huge drain on your finances. A lot of people overpay for low value plans, or they end up carrying redundant policies that they don't even need. Even worse, some people fail to get insurance at all on things that are actually necessary. Things like liability, disability, and long-term care insurance are areas where people end up underinsured and end up regretting it later. Paying for the wrong insurance is a waste of your money. And not having insurance in areas that are critical is a huge financial misstep and could end up costing you thousands later on. Both extremes are extremely costly and can be simply avoided by putting the right policies in place. Most people set up their insurance and then never take a look at it again. But your life changes over time. You get married, you have children, you buy a house, you retire, you become an empty nester. All these things require you to take another look at your insurance policies and figure out if the ones that are currently in place are the right ones for you in this stage of your life. Your risk profile changes over time, and so should your insurance. The seventh money misstep and drain on your finances that I see time and again is not having clear roles for all of your investment accounts. This is extremely common among people who are financially literate or who have been on a journey to improve their financial literacy. You hear about a good account that's beneficial to you in your future, and then you go and open it up. But if you do this every time you learn something new, you end up with dozens of accounts floating all around, and a lot of them may not have an established purpose, or you may lose track of them altogether. Maybe you have a retirement account, a high yield savings account, a 401k over here, another brokerage account over there, and some crypto that brother-in-law invested for you. But if you can't clearly explain what each of these accounts is for, when you will use it, and what role the money in that account is playing for you in your future, then your money is probably not working as hard as it should be for you. And you may even be losing it out on the opportunity cost of different investments that you could have made. There is a difference between diversification and scatter confusion. And confusion costs you money over time. You don't need more accounts. You need clarity on what each account is doing for you and how it's benefiting your future. Which leads me to my 8th and final money leap, which is spending without connecting it to your future. This sounds like a wash, but it's actually the most important one on my list. Spending money with intention on things that actually bring you joy is not a waste. But when you spend money frivolously in ways that are not connected with your future life plan or things that bring you genuine joy and happiness, that is a true waste of money. When your money isn't tied to the life you actually want, the flexibility that you are trying to buy yourself, or to the version of yourself that you are trying to build toward, your spending becomes reactive. And that is where no one should be. Intentional spending does not mean spending less. It means spending in a way that is aligned to your goals. And misalignment is where money disappears without bringing you benefit. The amount that you're spending on a monthly and yearly basis does not matter as much as spending it in a way that is aligned to your values and to your life goals. So I encourage you, take a look through these 8 steps and see where you are leaking money. A lot of us waste money not because we're bad with money. It's because we've established systems, accounts, and processes early on that are no longer serving us, and we don't take the time to give them a second look. If you've outgrown the financial systems that you put in place previously, it probably just needs an update. If you want help cleaning up your money, and building a system that works for you, and building a strategy that actually fits your goals, your lifestyle, and your values, that's exactly what I do as a money coach. Check out my website for more information on how we can work together. If you like this video, please share it with someone who you think can benefit from it as well. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.